to join me today, we have a full house for this conversation. To my far right, we have Malam Baba Yusuf, strategist, policy advisor, public intellectual, and the CEO of GITC. Malam, welcome back to Inside Sources.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you for coming. And right on my immediate right, we have author, journalist, and a retired banker, Mr. Etim. Etim, good to see you again.
Nice to be back.
I think it's the first time we're having this in the year, this crew. So it's good to see you guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. All right. So let's start with Etim. Now, the way I see what is happening to El-Rufai, we cannot deny the fact that all of this started when he was dropped by the National Assembly after he had been nominated for minister. But anybody who doesn't see the hand of Ribadu in this thing, we have to take a second look. Not just because Malam El-Rufai himself has pinpointed Ribadu, but because many of us know that when Ribadu ran ACN presidential race in 2011, that was the beginning of the problem with Malam El-Rufai, because Malam El-Rufai was the one that was meant to be presidential candidate with the support of Ribadu, who was then expected to become Inspector General of Police. But guess what? In 2011, all of that changed. Our president then picked Malam Ribadu to run as ACN. For me and those who know the history, that is the foundation of the problem that we have in the relationship between El-Rufai and Ribadu, who started in the public estimation as friends. Now, Etim, you are also a journalist for a long time. How do you read this?
I read it. You've read it correctly, and that was the foundation. If that was the foundation, then 2031 is the real crux of the matter. If 2011 was the foundation, 2031 is the crux of the matter.
Wow.
It's clear to Ribadu that the president has tapped him as his successor in 2031. That's the impression many people have. And so it is Nuhu's fight now, Nuhu's responsibilities now, to make sure that whoever could possibly be on his way, would have to be demolished. And so far, El-Rufai is the number one target. And El-Rufai himself is not helping matters. He's talking too much, and he's being reckless. Personally, I see this as his own comeuppance. He has come to his own comeuppance. Judgment has come for him.
Madam Baba, how do you read this?
Well, it's palace, intrigues of the palace between two long-term friends. Although I see it differently. These were colleagues that became acquaintances and friends of convenience. I define friendships. Yeah, friendship should have gone before 1999. Friendship should have been maybe in ABU's area, which is their alma mater for both of them.
But they in school at the same time?
No, they were in the same school, but not at the same year, but different campuses. I mean, Malam Nasiru was in Samaru, while Malam Ribadu studied in Congo School of Admin, while he was in Sciences in Congo Survey. But the key issue for me is, it is when they found themselves in the palace during the time of President Olusegun Obasanjo, now have to align themselves, being the poster boys for Obasanjo at that time. That's why I call it a friendship of convenience.
Right.
And therefore, that is not a friendship that was really tested. And of course, it precipitated when the interest came to the fore. Everybody has his ambition. I don't blame Malam Ribadu for being ambitious. Neither do I blame Malam Nasir El-Rufai for being ambitious. But I think the sense of entitlement of Malam Nasir El-Rufai is what to me leaves a very bad taste in the mouth. Maybe because at the first instance, it looked like the one that could have been, that was proposed, to be, but what it is now is for me to focus on the one that is in the eye of the storm, Malam Nasir El-Rufai. It appears he has done himself in and has not, learned from the script of the great Chinese philosopher, military general and strategist Sun Tzu that says he will win. He who knows when to fight and when not to fight. It appears his intelligence is not playing out at the strategic level for Malam Nasir El-Rufai to become so emotional and railroading himself, as it were, in this position. Now, over the past few months, especially after he lost the opportunity to be in the cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Malam Nasir El-Rufai lost it. And that, to my mind, is where he missed it. The impression that Malam Nasir El-Rufai also, while we are talking in this forum, anybody, it insults the sensitivities and sensibilities of Nigerians, that the discussion about 2031 is about Malam Nasir El-Rufai and Malam Ribadu. Come on. We are talking about the Federal Republic of Nigeria, gentlemen. We are talking about Northern Nigeria, gentlemen. So for both of them, I would say hello. Let's wait and see how it pans out.
Now, there is a book, A Paradise for Maggots. It was published in 2010. A Paradise for Maggots, the story of a Nigerian anti-graft Tsar. It's written by Wale Adebanwi, who is now a professor of political science, African history at the University of Pennsylvania. A personal friend, by the way, for full disclosure. He has documented, in that book, he has documented what happened in 2010, 2011, when Ribadu became the candidate of ACN. That was Tinubu's party then. And interestingly, Mr. Akin Oshutokun, who was one of the senior special assistants during the Obasanjo presidency, has recently recalled some of the details in this book, Paradise for Maggots, which is essentially a book on New Ribadu's time as AFCC chairman. He has recalled how President Obasanjo, in trying to determine who his successor will be, set up quite a few caucus groups. And one of those caucus groups had, Malam El-Rufai, Nuhu, Obi Ezekwesili, Akin Oshitoko himself. And Akin Oshitoko actually had the information that Chief Bayo Ojo, who was then the Attorney General of the Federation, was the chair of one of those caucus groups. So Obasanjo had two tracks. There was one track to determine from among the governors who could be a successor, and another track among the ministers. So that was where Nuhu and El-Rufai seemed to have aligned to push Nuhu for the president. Now, it didn't happen because,
Nasiru. To push Nasiru.
Yeah. So one of the caucus, they were hoping that Nasiru would become the president. And that was where Nuhu was also playing along, like you call it the friendship of convenience. I like that term. That, okay, you're going to be president and then I'll become Inspector General of Police. Now, the reason why I've recalled this is just so people understand that these things are already documented, and none of them have actually come out to dispute that this is what is happening. But I want to bring it back to you, Etim, to now say that how do you think, how do you assess the response that the Tinubu administration is giving to Malam El-Rufai? And I'll give you a scenario. He said that he knew that, they were going to arrest him, and he arrives at the airport, there's a crowd ready at the airport. He says, Ribadu says that, Rufai says that the crowd came from the aircraft, okay? But there was a crowd that kind of said, oh, you can't arrest this guy. Now, somebody else has said that, no, they didn't even want to arrest him. They just wanted to seize his passport. Now, but do you think that the Tinubu administration is responding properly and strategically to El-Rufai's
challenge? By Tinubu administration, I think you mean Nuhu Ribadu. He's the one leading this fight on behalf of the administration. The administration has given him a clear mandate to deal with this avant terrible. Is it responding well? Not really, because it seems that they too are playing into the hands of El-Rufai. Now they have, EFCC has arrested him, detained him for a night. He has now been moved to ICPC, and ICPC is keeping him. We don't know where else he's going to go. I think they are killing a fly with a sledgehammer. He doesn't deserve all this attention. I mean, you can deal with an opposition personality without bringing the full force of the security apparatus of the country on one man.
Yeah.
So it is clear
from
to Nigeria, from
EFCC
DSS to ICPC, it's clear to Nigeria.
Within days.
Within days. It's clear to Nigerians that this is persecution of the highest order. I can't recall when one person, one opposition element was so pursued in this country. I can't recall when last. So Nuhu is combining personal vendetta with his own official agenda to pursue El-Rufai. And El-Rufai will not come out of this unscathed.
Interesting. Let's take it to Madam. You were saying in your first comment that you also wanted to talk about, Rufai's own strategy. Please take it away.
Yeah, I think the government is giving Malam Nasir El-Rufai too much attention, and that is giving him more, whether it's his credibility, more oxygen, whether it's credibility or otherwise. But of course, without diminishing in any way the critical issues. And I don't want Nigerians to get carried away by the optics. I believe that the way and manner to deal with Malam Nasir El-Rufai is not to give him the stage to dance on. To demonstrate the silent power of government in a strategic way to deal with him, because already Malam Nasir El-Rufai, as far as I'm concerned, not just his cup, his flask is full. So it's just simple, move in, address the issues one by one, while he continues making his noise. Malam Nasir El-Rufai is a demagogue. Take it or leave it. So he will continue to grandstand. He will continue to make these noises. Albeit we can see what noise can bring onto the table for you. But that being said, it is what it is. Malam Nasir El-Rufai is the NSA. Without prejudice to what he's doing behind the scenes, we don't know.
Right.
Let us also not forget that Malam Nasir El-Rufai, if we say Malam El-Rufai is the only person that he is sparring with in this government, we're also making him such a superman, which is not. Malam Nasir El-Rufai, over his career, 26 years political career, has been making enemies almost every 24 hours. Suffice it to say, the known and unknown, the seen and unseen are there. The sense of entitlement, the arrogance, the level of the lack of decorum in the way and manner he was doing his things to the elites, to the masses, across religious divide, all over the place, has made him a common enemy to a lot of people across the power blocks. And that is, I think, his Achilles' heels. Let us not forget, this is a man that woke up one day and had the temerity to insult the northern elders, which includes my father, by the way, and that is why it's personal to me. To say there is no elder, there is no person in the north that he respects.
This was when he was governor or afterwards?
No, when he was governor.
All right.
For me, it's about Nigeria and how we should move forward, not to bellyache or Malam Nasir El-Rufai.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. This is a conversation that we're going to continue, in our next edition. I'd like to thank you for coming to Inside Sources, Malam Baba Yusuf and Mr. Etim.
A pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.